Good afternoon and a very warm welcome to all of you. Thank you for joining us today at today's webinar under the banner One on Education. I am Smita Matai, Central Manager Training, Orient Black Swan. We are delighted to introduce our speaker for today, Dr. Reena Singh. Dr. Reena Singh is a consultant, counseling psychologist, and motivational trainer. Her vast areas of interest include life skill education, parental training, teaching learning methodologies, anger management, study skills, etc. She frequently takes orientation programs for principals, teachers, parents, and students all over India on various issues related to higher education and school education and school psychology. She is associated with university teaching departments, institutes of higher learning, and many social service organizations as subject expert in behavioral sciences. Dr. Singh holds a PhD in psychology in personality, emotional intelligence, intrinsic motivation, and well-being among students. She has a master's in educational administration and management, PG diploma in guidance and counseling. She has published many papers in national and international journals. She has received postdoctoral fellowship from ICSSR New Delhi on women in unorganized sector and worked in the Department of Psychology, Barkatullah University, Bhopal. She has also been program leader in humanities at School of Liberal Arts, Jagran Lake City University, Bhopal. Dr. Singh is also the National Coordinator Publications for Indian School Psychology Association, wherein she translated the book on school psychology in Hindi and Marathi and coordinated to translate the same in 20 Indian languages. She received the Best Performance Award from Indian School Psychology Association in 2020. She is also a member of the Community Psychology Association of India, Indian Academy of Health Psychology. Having 4 books to her credit, she has also received the erstwhile Rashtriya Siksha Gaurav Award and Gold Medal for Educational Excellence. She was also felicitated with the Nari Shakti Samman by the Governor of Bihar for her dedicated services in the social sector in 2019. She has also received Jyotirmay Award 2022 for her professional competence in serving people and teaching psychology. She has received Tirukural Award 2023 at the University of Mauritius for her outstanding contribution in school psychology. Presently, she is Director, Vikalp, Health Education Research Foundation, India, a CBO working for the cause and care of social change and development. Thank you, Dr. Singh, for accepting our invitation to speak. We are absolutely delighted to have you on board. Over to you now.
Thanks a lot, Smita, and thanks for such a generous interaction. Thanks to Orient Black Swan for inviting me for this particular orientation. I'm blessed to be here. I'm sorry, I don't know why my video is not visible, though it is on. So if the team could help me out with that.
Madam, can you log out and log in?
Okay.
It was on when you started, but suddenly it has stopped.
Okay, I'll do it again. I'm so sorry for that part. I'll try it again.
Not a problem, ma'am. We'll wait while you log out and log in again. Technical glitches, we'll take care of it. We'll have Dr. Singh with us in a few moments.
Yeah. Thank you.
Madam, I think you joined from two devices. Can you disconnect from one? This one is not, video is not coming. The other one it was coming.
Oh. Probably I need to join it again.
Yeah, if please make sure that you logged in one device only. Just now you logged in, their video was coming. So otherwise, echo will come.
I hope now I'm audible also and visible.
No.
Sorry, Dr. Singh, we are not able to, we are unable to hear you or even see you.
Yeah, now we are able to
We
see
can
them.
see you.
Thank you so much, and sorry
Yes,
for
this is better. Yeah.
the inconvenience for all the teachers also. A very happy evening to one and all present. And I have my deep gratitude towards each teacher who felt that, yes, this is something very important. Though I personally feel that each teacher is the greatest psychologist. If you agree with me, kindly put in the chat box A. I would request the teachers to put A on the chat box if you really agree that you are a great psychologist. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, and because the moment you are in the classroom, you are able to judge the child, whether the child is anxious or sad or joyful or some happy things the child is having, which he or she want to share with you. So that is something which is really important. And yes, I feel, but being trained, and then I have my own experience and you all have your own experience in the classroom. So those are always most important one. And probably being a learner, I'll be able to learn few more things from your end too. So definitely now I would just like to ask one more small question before I start sharing my slides. How many of you have joined this webinar because of some compulsion? Because the authorities, the principal or the director have forced you to join, or it was your own happy will and interest to know more about it. So if you have more interest, so kindly put I in the chat box, and if it was a pressure, so please put P in the chat box. Thank you so much. That reflects that, yeah, you all were so much interested to join this, and let it be more interactive, so that we are, it should be a two-way learning which is there. Of course, I'll be sharing my experiences, my cases with you all, along with your inputs. Together, we will come up the end product of this webinar. The takeaways should be something very constructive, which would be beneficial for all of us. So allow me to share my screen. My entire screen, I'll share it. I hope it is visible.
Yes, ma'am, it is visible.
My screen is visible.
Yeah. Yeah, put it in a slideshow. On the bottom right, you will find that orange icon, play button kind of.
That is usually there, but then on my screen, I am not able to find that orange button.
Yeah, you can press Alt Tab and go to that presentation window and click on that. You can switch between windows and just, or in the menu, slide menu, there is a, go to slide menu and file edit like that. Slide is there, no? Right side. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, it's in
I hope
slideshow.
it is
Yeah,
now visible to everyone.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you. So, welcome to my session once again. A very warm welcome, where we are going to talk about student well being, effective techniques to reduce exam anxiety, because it's into the air, the exams are into the air, and definitely. Usually it's the teachers who are also having a lot of anxiety that how my child is going to child I mean here is how my student is going to perform, because constantly uh, I've been taking care about notes, about revisions, about class test and everything. So that anxiousness is always there with the teacher as well as with the parent also. So in one of the centrally known newspaper, which is Dainik Bhaskar, I have written an article, "Mamma pass ho gayi." That is, mother has cleared her examination, because at home it's the mother. She is also equally. She's also having a lot of anxiety issues, but at the time of examination of their child. So let's start with a small prayer, which I always do it, that help us, O Lord, to penetrate into the secret of the child, so that we may know him, love him, and serve him according to your laws of justice and following your divine will. So, yes, we are blessed that we are teachers, and we have got this opportunity to take care of the child. So, we are thanking God for that part. So, these are the basic things which I am going to run through in my 1 hour, 15 minutes session, where we are going to talk about how that early exposure and at what age and how it need to be introduced, the three pillars of the student success, how it works, and recognizing exam anxiety in classroom. Though I know you all have observed firsthand, but then still a rapid recap which we are going to make out of it, and practical techniques how we can help them out, not only at the time of examination, but then let's make it a process, so that the child is able to do it in all the tests, may it be class test, surprise test, or the end-term examination. Through various techniques we can work on it, and how our parents, whom we need to educate simultaneously, can be a great support to our school culture. And then of course your questions will be welcomed. Usually, we give the exposure to the child of examination the moment they join school. May it be the foundation also, though we say it's learning through playing and playway method and all those aspects. Now with NEP 2020 also, we have lot of changes which have come up across our academic curriculum. With that, we introduce the child by 2.5 to 3 years, when the child starts going to the foundation school, and that is a very tender age. Or in fact, when we introduce such kind of concepts of examination, that somewhere need to be introduced very smoothly, in a very friendly manner, so that it helps to shape the perception of the child about examination or about assessment. We may name it differently, assessment, grading system, but ultimately we are somewhere screening the child for whatever the inputs the child have taken up throughout the year, and now how they are going to work on it. And that ultimately helps us out to see that how that stress level is reduced and how confident they become later on in life. So it should not be a kind of a dangerous introduction that, oof, my God, examination. It need to be a very peaceful one. So here is a small, pictorial depiction about the expression, and I would like you all to put it into the chat box. What was your first reflex which came up by looking at the picture? That, oh my God, it is sweet, or a thing to be worried about. If it is sweet, just type S, or it is a thing to be worried about. The expressions, kindly put W. I hope Smita is going to help me out with the.
Yes, most of them had already started typing in worry, stress. There are more W's and more W's coming in. They're just flooding the
Great.
chat box. A lot of W's that I can see coming up here.
Thank you. Thank you so much, teachers, and thank you so much, Smita, for that. What we are looking forward? Are we really looking forward for such kind of expression? This is just a symbolic description which I've tried to put it over, where our parents used to see the result in the newspapers. Of course, now it is at a single click, but my interest is, let's focus on the expression at LKG result at the tender age of 4 years. Are we really looking forward for such expressions? I want on the chat box, are we looking forward for such expressions? Yes or no? Y or N?
There are responses, no, not at all.
Thank
No,
you.
no,
Thank you
no,
so
lots
much.
of no's.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So let's work it out. Though we are working into this particular direction, but there are pillars of student success, and those strong pillars, the very first one is our school, where the backbone are always the teachers, who are having lot of strengths and putting all their extra efforts to make their lives a better one. So this is the only stage in life where we spend maximum time in one particular institution, that is around 14 years. Rest all are for 3 years, 2 years graduation, 2 years PG, 3 years graduation, or 5 years graduation. So those are very short duration. So look at the kind of effort a school is building. The basic, the lay down of the basic things are being done. The base is being made very much in the school itself, and of course. When we talk about school, we do look forward for a very supportive school culture. Each school have their own culture. It can be government school, they have their own culture, their own rules. The public schools, the private schools, or the missionary schools all have their own culture. So we look forward that we try to give the best as per the culture which we are having. So creating and nurturing the child is important. Creating a very positive environment in the classroom is important. I'll just share one of my case. The little child of 4.5 years was in KG, first KG1, and every day the child used to have lot of sneezing. uh, Parents were called that why this child is always sick, and the parents told that we always visit the pediatrician and the best antibiotics are being given to the child, but still he has this particular problem. They said it's better you visit any psychologist or a counselor, so that a proper environment, or we could find out the root cause towards it, or there is some problem in the family. The parents reached me, and when I interacted with the child, I asked them how the curriculum of the school is. It was known that school has exam based um, curriculum, where their sole goal was that all children should get good marks. Of course, we all schools have. Apart from it, they were also looking forward that it is a kind of a pressure which used to be created, that no, a child of KG1 need to know a writing of three-letter words very much in the month of September. I hope the teachers can connect with me for this part, that September, after joining in April or July, it is too early for them for KG1 to start with the three-letter word. If you agree with me, please put A in the chat box, or if you disagree, so please put D. Smita, will you help me out?
All A's, they are all in agreement with you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, teachers. Yes, and such a tender age when they are pressurizing, and the same pressure is being carried over at home also. The mother is pressurizing the child to do the writing work. So that kind of pressure, the stress the child was undergoing, have resulted. Ultimately, the school was changed, and there it was more open environment, a healthy and a positive environment. And the best part was, when their parents went to school, the new school, when they interacted with the headmistress said, your child is superb. And when the child is moving alone in the garden when waiting for the bus, the child never plucks the flowers, but the child has been observed that the child is talking with the plants. Now, see how that alert school is, and the teachers and the headmistress, where they have observed a single child, that the child is interacting with it. That what we look forward for, that when this is what the formative years are, and where the positive stroke is being given, definitely there could be lot of changes. With not only school, we look forward for the engaged parents. It's not we teach or educate a child in the school, but simultaneously in PTMs and through interaction with the parents, we do somehow educate our parents also, though they are qualified. But then we educate on the parenting tips from the schooling perspective also. I hope my teachers will agree to it. So kindly put A in the chat box if you agree that yes, you do interact with the parents also, and somehow you give certain inputs for a better parenting.
All A's coming in, ma'am.
Thank you, thank you, thank you so
Yes.
much. Yes, that shows that we all are going on the same page, and definitely we are working towards the same. So we want that the parents should be involved with the child, and so that the learning should be stress free. I'll just share a simple example where, when the child is if a child is being asked to bring a glass of water, and with all the enthusiasm, the little one is coming up with a glass of water, and all of a sudden, because of that curtain, got a dash, and the glass fall down, and it was all glass pieces around in the room. The immediate reflex of the mother is, oof, what you have done. And she starts scolding. Reactions are there, not response. More reactions are there, and full of anger. Whether that glass can be recreated, whether that glass can be rejoined, no. But the scratch, the fear which the child have developed into his or her mind will be for lifetime. We need to take care of such kind of fears so that they are not into all these components and they are able to take the learning in a very healthier manner. It's okay, instead of shouting that my god, my complete set is being disturbed now, it can be repurchased, but then that scratch can never be filled. If there is any cut into a hand of any individual due to that cell division, that scar cannot be removed, that only that wound can be filled. So let's work on the psychological part of the child, where the parents and the teachers, we all need to be very alert and work together. Then only we can help the child to build the resilience, the strength within, so which is required to face the entire world. So it is just a, these three strong pillars need to be very strong enough, especially the school and the parents. Automatically the third pillar is going to get all the strength to be more support, get all the support to be more straight enough. How we are going to come up and find out that whether the child is having anxiety? I've just jotted down few things. You must have observed them in your classrooms, or even during the assembly time when the final exams are going on, or midterms, or any of the term exams are going on. So you must have observed that the students are having headache, palpitations, chest pain, stomach ache, indigestion, feeling very fatigued, energy less. I hope you must have observed it. So, can you please put it into the chat box that yes, if you have observed it, just Y is enough for me. Because these
Yes,
chest pain,
we have a whole bunch of very observant teachers, all the wise coming in. They have been
great,
watching
great.
these signs. Yes.
Thank you so much. That shows that your heart and soul is with student. Because when you're, it is a passion, and if that is the passion, teaching is your passion. That's the reason when you're able to observe all these things. Because all of a sudden the palpitations come up, and then they faint also at times. Their sweating is there on the palms, all these things, and the chest pain or the pains in the hand muscles are something very common which we observe into the schools. When it comes down to emotional component, this is the physical signs which we are really able to see it. But then such an alert and observant teachers, I'm sure that you must have observed that the child is a bit confused and gets irritated. Maybe a friend is saying best of luck also to the friend, and say, it's okay. That may be the reaction. Or not responding at all. This irritability, nervousness, all these things, I hope you must have observed during the examination time when you are on round or invigilation duty, or general observation also. But then, what is the behavioral change which is there, which we can observe is that they are least interested in any of the class activities. So, when I talk about class activities, it's just before the exams when we talk about some class tests, some revision, some quizzes which we organize, or damshras we are playing with, of course, subject. But these kind of activities, when we do it, we find that this child is reluctant, not interested, not active enough to participate. It's not that the child don't want to study, but yeah, because of that anxiety and the fear is basically, or that anxiety increases because they think about the result. They don't focus on the process part of it. They directly think about the result. What will happen if I don't get good marks? My parents' reaction, what my friends are going to say, in case if I fail in this particular classroom, what would be how all are going to see to me. I'll be the failure, that tag will be with me. So these kind of thoughts are so much clouded in their minds that results into such kind of reactions where they have lot of anxiety because they are not focusing on the process, though the teacher keeps on telling, giving small portions to learn and study, but maybe the environmental part which they are not getting at home also, because home environment is also equally important, where they are not getting that environment to start or to sit and study also. So they keep on procrastinating of their work, that tomorrow I'll do it, or the copies which need to be submitted for the final assessment of grading, those copies, those are also being, I'll give it tomorrow positively. So those tomorrows are always there. And this is what we observe, how that it impacts our anxiety on the student. Academically, if we see, they reduce the concentration, because most of the time either their heart rate is being there, which increases, or they feel they are not organized. They feel, oh, let me pick up the English book, and then they feel, "Ah, my God, I have not touched my environmental EVS or social science if they are in standard 6 upwards. I've not picked up maths. My God, how I'm going to work on it." So, what happens? They collect all the books and copies around them, and then they become restless. At the end of the day, they are not able to study any one subject. This is what is being reflected, which reduces their concentration, because they are not able to organize. And that when they are more anxious, the reflection can be seen on the memory, where they knew it. If you ask one to one, they are able to answer also. Or in your classroom, you have observed that the child was answering it well, but during the examination, when you are checking the answer sheets, you find the performance is not up to the mark, whereas the child was answering the same question effectively in the classroom. If you have also experienced this, please put into the chat box as E, or if you have not experienced, please put N into it.
A lot of teachers are putting in E, which goes to show that many of our students are facing exam anxiety in schools today.
True, true. So thank you, Smita. Yeah, thank you, teachers, for that part. That yes, this is what academic impact which we are focusing, because they are all mixed up with everything. And then lower test performance, because when you are looking at the grading, and at times you yourself are surprised that such a brilliant child, how that performance have come up in this manner. So yes, these things do happen. And when they see the test results, may it be the monthly test or the periodic test or the term test, when they see such consistent deterioration in their test performance, though they are putting lot of efforts towards it and still not getting the results, that increases their stress level and diminished their self-esteem. And then they put a tag for themselves that I'm a duffer, I cannot do it, I don't know what is lacking in me. So this self doubt is created in them that reduces their self esteem, and that ultimately is very painful for the child, because that is how they, if the teacher is able to recognize it, but usually it happens that all these kind of thought processes and churning of these thoughts take place usually when the final exams are over. Either they move for taking any extreme step. So initially, we used to think that a student of class 6, 7th, and 8th, how they are going to take such an extreme step. But then, no, they do have those thoughts. My clinical experience tells me that they do have those thoughts of using different methods of doing suicide. They Google it up with various methods. And of course, there were certain games which came up, and still we have such harmful video games and mobile games also, which ultimately motivate them to take such extreme steps. So our responsibility becomes altogether more that how we need to connect with them, because we don't want to look forward for such kind of long term effects. We want them to have a very happy life. Plus, their learning, the future learning attitudes should be positive. Why those dropouts are there? So it is not, earlier we used to think that the dropout rates are more only in the area which are of slum areas where the parents are forcing them to work. But the trend have changed altogether. I have around 12 to 14 cases at present with me who have gone for leaving the school, not going for the complete academic year, not having any kind of physical problems because all the tests have been done, but then still they are not joining the school at all. Initially, few of them are such who have given at least the exams in class 6th, but the moment they come to 7th and 8th, they are totally not continuing with it. And if you see the percentage of open schools, you'll find that these are the students from a very affluent families are joining open schools and giving the examinations through it. Again, leaving, though the opportunity and facilities are there of choosing the subject of their choice, but then still they are not even appearing in those exams. And if we go to the history of it, the resultant is only having hyper anxiety problem with these children and the introduction of the exam. They say that we are ready to study everything, but not ready to give the exams. So, something very serious which we need to look forward, because these youngsters, these adolescents are future citizens of our country. I did a small, very small kind of a research. Of course, I don't claim it to be a pan India one. I'll definitely work on this research to on the pan India. I worked on only in Madhya Pradesh, where the things came up that whenever such situations in the classroom it has been observed, if a child is doing anything good, the child is being rewarded, reinforced for that particular act. Or even if you see the little ones right from KG1, KG2, or class 1 to class 3 also, they get right, they get stars, they get good and excellent in their notebooks also. And then they become happy, and the one who is not completing the copies at all or keeping the pages blank, the teacher is putting a big cross on the paper, on the copies, and of course exceptions are there. We are not supposed to give those negative strokes. I know my teachers might not be doing, but then yeah, there are few teachers who are still working with it, putting a long cross and writing there, write it again or complete it. Of course, it's a very positive stroke, complete it, but the child is taking it as a punishment, because this is a child. If you're putting a tick mark also, they are counting their ticks, they are not getting good or excellent, but then their tick is also a reward for them. So 58% of teachers still follow reward and punishment strategy. This is my 2 years old research. So this is not at present, and I have found a lot of changes have come up in a lot of teachers, because each individual work on their own. 27% teachers are focusing their things only on the attention part of it, how much the child is paying attention to the concepts and the topics. And there are 8% teachers who are focusing on relevant strategies, that what need to be used if there is some mischief or some good things have been done or some motivation need to be done. But there are only 7% teachers who are working on the confidence building of a child. If we really work on the confidence building of the child, will definitely all these hurdles can be taken care, and once it has been boosted, definitely the child will be able to do much wonders. And I'm 100% confident my teachers who are with me today are working only on confidence building, not on any other strategies. So kindly put yes if you are working on confidence building strategies.
Absolutely happy to share. Plenty of yeses coming there. So they are working on building confidence in their students.
Thank you so much. So I want my this research to be proved as false now, which is 2 years old. So I'll of course do it pan India, and I'll be happy to know that the scores are reversed because of it. So looking forward for such kind of change results. Thank you so much that you're working on the confidence building of the child as per the potential of the child, because a teacher have a big role to play in her life, where the slightest change is the one which makes lot of things together. If I just ask you one more question in between, where if I ask you to remember your favorite teacher, I hope the smiles are there on your faces. I'm confident about it. And if yes, you are able to recall your favorite teacher, please put yes there, or put F for your favorite teacher there.
Lots of yes, and a smiley face also just went up the chat box.
Thank
As
you.
they
Thank you
remember their favorite
so much.
teacher.
Thank you so much. So just imagine, after leaving school for so many years, it may be 15 years, 20 years, you have left the schooling, and now still date you are able to remember your favorite teacher. So looking at those aspects, definitely a role of a teacher is very important. And I want that your students should also have the same smile when they also remember their teacher, wherever in the whole world they are, globally they are placed. And we are blessed in this matter, the teachers are blessed in this matter, that our students are across the world, and there that super smile is going to make a change into their lives, and that would be an ultimate well-being and a great reward for a teacher too. So let's work it out on few things, how we can work on promoting the mental well-being of the students, because yes, they are, we have observed it, and you have agreed with me that yes, they are having anxiety. You have jotted down the things that yes, they are having physical symptoms are there, and the psychological also, and the emotional level also, you're able to observe them they are having. Let's work it out now, that how we can reduce it, so that the coming academic year, as well as the present, if the examinations are going on, because you can always help them out with few of these techniques, which will help them out to maintain their well-being and perform their examination well. Because a teacher keeps on motivating a child, not on the basis or assuring that you should get 80% or 90%, but the teacher assures for the as per the potential of the child. If the child is having a potential of 33 or 35%, we always encourage a child for 33 and 35%, and not pressurizing the child for 70 or 80%. I hope my teachers will agree with it. Immediately just put A on the chat box when you agree that yes, you focus as per the potential of the student. Smita?
Sorry, all A's coming in. I didn't realize the mic was muted. Yes, but all A's coming in. My eyes are on the chat box. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, teachers. That yes, this is what that shows, that you are teachers by choice and not by chance. Because the answers which I'm getting on chat box, that is, those are like more motivating for me too. So let's work it out for those students, what strategies we can have it. Mindfulness practices which we need to help them out to do. So encouraging student to engage in mindful activities like breathing and meditation. Now I can you can put your questions also in the chat box. Later on we'll take it in Q&A, but immediately if any question is coming up, usually the question comes up, how about a child who is of 4 years, 5 years, 6 years of the age? Are they will try to imitate you for breathing, but when it comes down to meditation, it's just closing their eyes, that's it, and then opening one eye and seeing to you whether you have opened your eyes or not. So that is what they mean by meditation. But then yes, there are different ways of helping them out to work with this thing. They're playing with colors. Playing with colors help them out to relax a lot, come out of any kind of stress or anxiety they are undergoing. Those colors play wonders in the life of everyone, may it be a small child or a student of class 10th or 12th. So the playing with colors do help. The little ones can also play with your clay, which is there. Colorful clays are there. If not, you can always educate and ask parents to ask them to work with wheat flour, which has been nailed, and that nailing one, ask them to nail it up themselves and create different figures out of it. That sensory motor inputs are definitely going to help them out to reduce their stress and anxiety. So this definitely helps for little ones to involve into this particular activities, because uh, first thing is, we need to introduce the concept of examination, not using those assessment and examination and pressures and lot of revisions towards it, making it an event. So instead of making it a bigger event, showing them and then creating pressure towards it, it has to be equal to, because when we have cultural meets or we have sport meet also, the same kind of pressure is being felt by the teachers also and by the students also, because that performance anxiety increases. So the similar performance anxiety is here also. So let's not make this event, this academic event, I would say, it should be in a more introduced in a more comfortable manner. That fine, we have studied this much, so now let's work it out. But now we will have a shuffle and sit in a different manner, and then we'll, so that the focus is there, because your friend or your classmate may disturb you when you are writing your assessment or whatever you have learned it, you are writing and showing to us also. So we will make you sit with a bigger didi, one who is an elder student, or student from a senior class will be sitting along with you. So they get it, they get it into a very happier mode, that wow, I'll be sitting with a senior student, so that they are not going to disturb me, they are going to do write their work, and I'm going to do my work. So this is the pattern where we can introduce them effectively. Journaling for reflection is, of course, there, where they could express their emotions. Now the student of 6th, 7th, 8th and upwards are good enough in journaling, but they avoid journaling and writing their emotions, because again that fear is, if it is been caught by my parents at home, they are going to scold me and they are not going to accept. You being teachers, you do understand the importance of journaling and expression of emotion. If possible, please keep a small diary of each student into the cupboards, where they can be distributed, they can do the journaling part there, and again it is being submitted here, where they have the faith and the trust and the confidence that whatever I am writing in my diary is here safe, and trust they have it that it is not going to be opened by my teacher or read by my teacher, because you understand the importance of it. Again, when it comes down to the little ones, class 1 to 3, or even the younger ones also, how they can express their emotions, they can do it with the help of making their scrapbook. That is another important interesting thing which they can do it. They can develop their own scrapbook, and by cutting it, pasting it, because they are using fevicol, when they use fevicol, they try to remove that fevicol from their fingers, and that they could see the skin imprint is there. All those things are the things which help them out to relieve their stress. So those scrapbooks can be made by cutting it on any of the topics, or randomly, which you all give it as a holiday homework or holiday assignments also. But then that can be done even in the school, where they can bring anything on their favorite topic, and then they can paste it, or they could color it. So that can help them out. This will help them out to know their self in a better manner. Self awareness can be created, because this is the one. I know the teachers must be teaching life skills also in the classroom as one of the component, one of the subject. But then this is the right way of teaching life skills, where they are able to express their emotions well, and they are aware about their own emotions. So once they are aware about their emotions, further also, when they grow up, if there is any kind of problem, they'll be able to solve that problem effectively, because they are aware about their own self and their emotions. Supportive conversations are always good. They create a safe space for students to share their feelings with one another. So here in schools, of course, few of the schools have already developed a happy room in the whole wing. You know, there are wings in each schools. So maybe on one floor there is a happy room, on one floor there is a prayer room, where they can go and if the teacher feels that there is a need for a child, ask the child, they can go there and put it over. Or not possible, then we can put a smiley charts on the pin-up boards, and there they can put it over how I'm feeling today. So somehow their feelings will be transferred, and they will be able to do it. Yes, mental well-being, we are in the same process. I know this kind of activity cannot be done in the classroom, that picture which I have depicted, but yeah, something to relax to them is equally important, and such strategies need to be taken care. So positive school and classroom environment is very important, where I'm not saying soft light all the time, but maybe a time where we can all relax, not giving the name as meditation to them, but to feel them, or to know their, scanning their bodies, what we usually call, instead of going for yogic component towards it, but then they just scan how the breathe is coming in, how it is going into each my body part. So that part they can always understand. We can always make a relaxing corners where they can, students should be taking an active part into it. They are going to put some quotations or some drawing, when they were feeling very anxious, what they did it, they can share their experience and put it over there, so which will be helpful for others also, and it would be a wonderful learning strategies for them also. Emotional resilience is which we need to build in them, because that competent that they do have skills, but how to develop those skills, how to motivate them and encourage them, so that they are away from their regular academic pressures and the social pressures also, because as they grow up, the immediately the neighbor, the results are out, and the first one who is going to ask is the neighbors, what was the result, how it was, and that disappoints them. So, how to handle those pressures effectively is more important, which we need to be communicated. Here, I would just like to add to it. Have you heard about multiple intelligence? If yes, kindly put it into the chat box. If yes, and if no, kindly put N into it.
Mostly all yeses so far.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. So, that multiple intelligence, I need not then elaborate over it. That multiple intelligence is definitely going to help a child to stand more confidently and talk to the society and tell that fine, in academics I have scored less, but in my performing arts I have scored full, in my life skills sessions I have done well, in my yoga sessions I have done it well, so or in my gardening sessions I have got grade A. So they, that would be this is how we can develop that resilience in them, keeping in them and teaching them the importance of multiple intelligence also. Healthy lifestyle during the time of examination is core important thing, which all teachers time to time tell them, but just a very rapid thing, that we do talk about balanced diet. They should take it nutritive diet, no more junk foods during the time of examination, because you may be sick at the time of examination, and try to go and play for some time. Those physical activities are also important. Night sleeps are always good. Those are night sleeps are important for your overall well-being, so that your mind is fresh enough to give this thing. Here I would say that kindly mention it very clearly, that how much water they need to take. I'll give you a very simple formula towards it, that at least 1 liter water is being said for 20 kgs. If the body weight is 20 kgs, the person need to take 1 liter of water. So multiple can multiply can be done. So if the weight of the child is 40 kg, so 2 liters of water. So accordingly, the plus and minuses can be done. So if it is something very specific, that will also help. Another thing is, out of anxiety, they feel lot of food cravings which are there. So you could always suggest the parents that, or the child, that kindly keep a water bottle, one thing, because they become very thirsty when they sit for their studies. So They can keep the water bottles. Another thing is some healthy snacks can be kept during the time. It's not only dry fruits, but it can be grams or it can be peanuts, anything, but to have it into a small quantity. So that into a small box can always be kept. Role of a teacher, yes, I'm happy that I don't have to focus more on this because you all are already working so much towards it. I'm happy and blessed to have a wonderful group of teachers with me today. So yeah, we need to create a very supportive environment and that physical touch, because at time the love language of certain student is not only appreciation but physical touch also. So, with a proximity, you could put a hand on the shoulder and give that pat, which is going to help a child to really feel confident towards it. And open communication, where if you feel, if I, as I said in the starting of my session, that teachers are the best psychologists. So the moment you are able to observe with their eyes that yes, this child is undergoing some kind of problem, just ask the child to come out of the class, talk to the child, or some free period when you have, or snatch some time for the betterment of that child. And let's not be very judgmental about whatever the situation the child is undergoing. Definitely, you will be able to boost it. And we have already talked about the mindful practices where the teachers definitely can be work these kind of practices in the classroom. So how many of you are already practicing these strategies in your classroom? Please put S if you are using these strategies.
Yes, chat box is flooding with yes.
Thank you so much for all your efforts which you are taking for the well-being of the students. Uh, of course, after recognizing the signs of anxiety, that is very much important. And one thing which we need to communicate to each child, whatever is the age group of the child, of course, after class 3, they understand in a better manner that they are very unique. There is not a single other person like them. So tell them that across the world there are three people who may look alike, but there are no two people who have the mental abilities as same. So that uniqueness can be done with the activity which I have depicted into the picture there, where the students can be asked to fold the paper and tear it up. And when they keep on doing it, and when they open it, and when they show it, you will observe that each design is different. This is the live example which shows that each individual is so unique. And then they believe it. Once they see to it, they believe it that, wow, I am unique. And that builds up their confidence and self esteem can be enhanced. Of course, academic support, each teacher keeps on helping them out with effective study plans, flexible deadlines. And of course, we have to focus on the genius students or the high scorer ones, and the slow achievers both. So the plans have to be very individually crafted for these because there are usually 3% of them in each classroom. So the teacher can take all the individual efforts, and you all are taking, which has really shown me and made me happy towards it. So these can help us out a lot. And fostering peer support. At times, students are not very comfortable with teacher or parents. Parents are more into the nagging mode. Oh, you have exams. Oh, you have exams. So I would suggest that kindly have those sessions for parents also, and where here the students can also help the other student. Their friends, their peers can always be a great support. So they can be as peer educators. So if you find there are few, if you identify them in your classroom who are having those leadership qualities, who are having good expression and all, you can select those 4 5 students, and you can train them as peer educators and help them out, so that they can help their fellow beings in reducing the anxiety. And of course, you have a major role to play, a big role to play, because you are a communicating link between parents and student. So a very bigger responsibility which you are carrying it over. Of course, you must be working and giving all these study skills to students. Just a very quick things which I would like to point it out is that if the level of concentration of the student is less, and because the students usually have the habit of preparing wonderful timetables during the time of examination, which they are not able to follow for 3 to 4 days, and again it comes up to zero because they are very idealistic and rigid ones. I would suggest if you could help those students to make a flexible timetable as per their level of concentration. It can be maximum 20 to 25 minutes. If we talk about students from class fourth to eighth, they have 20 to 25 minutes of concentration level. They may sit for 40 minutes at a stretch, but the qualitative concentration level is only that much. So we can always help them out to prepare their scheduling accordingly, as well as once they read, when the final revision is going on, tell them to write only the key points or the keywords, which will help them out to write in a more effective manner. And when it comes down to exam preparation, because each child prepares well, but when the moment they look at the question paper, though the 15 minutes are being given for the reading part, but then still that out of anxiety, they read the question paper, they start writing, and then they at the end they feel so bad. Once they are out of the classroom, they feel, oh, I was knowing this answer, how I missed it. So we can always help them out with this help with this component of exam preparation. Ask them to keep a pencil, not to write anything on the question paper. This you all keep on repeating, but then ask them, when you read the first question and the keyword which strikes you, write it with pencil on the back page of your answer sheet, and that small words are going to help you out to answer and recall those answers or the points later on once you start writing in an elaborative manner. This will help them out to prepare their this will help them out for their better expressions also. So, yes, few takeaway points which we have already talked about: time management and the magic of schedule breaks, which you are going to help them out as per their level of concentration. As I said, 20 to 25 minutes is maximum. It can be the lowest of 10 minutes also, or 8 minutes also, some students have. Once they make it, ask them to give a break of 5 minutes, but then they should be there on the table itself. They should not roam around. Have a sip of water, be there only, and after 5 minutes again they can start reading or studying their stuff once again. So that is again going to help them out. It will take around a day or two, and again they will be, their concentration will be increasing from 10 to around 15 to 20 minutes. This is my assurance of 100%. This is my practice for last so many years, which is this has given me that much of confidence. We have talked about nutrition, hydration, and sleep. Night sleeps are very important. Physical activity or joyful hobbies, as I said, maybe playing with colors, playing with sand, or physical activity, cycling. Just 2 rounds of cycling will also help them out. Compare with yourself and not others. This usually happens with them. So this I know this teachers keeps on telling that, fine, it's okay if you have got 35%, next time it should be 38%. We never commit them. We always ask them as per their potential for 38%, 40%, not 80% at all. Ask them to discover the yogi with breathing habits or yoga or any kind of physical activities, and being the breathing beauty towards it. Our role as teachers, as a school, becomes all too more important because we have to collaborate with parents. Kindly, you must be having a lot of sessions with parents to enlighten them on the parenting styles. Also, I would request here if you can take certain things on the examination and how should be the home environment during the time of examination. We always focus for the parents of 10th and 12th, but I would suggest if you could make a practice throughout, that would be great, and that will really help the parents and the students especially to work more effectively. And regular small talks are important, which ultimately helps. School always have their strategies. They do follow it also very effectively for the well-being of the students. But then yes, if certain sessions are being taken by different teachers of the school itself and make them more confident towards it, so that will help them out, maybe weekly or monthly one session. Some other teacher or one of the student can also take it, or the senior student, on the basis of their experiences, how they were able to cope up with these situations. That would be very, very effective altogether. And those habits and those things need to be rewarded, which will help them out altogether. I have just put down few sites where you can always visit if further assistance is required. The first thing is, of course, the school counselor or a school psychologist need to be approached if there are any such things which are not being. The teachers are having time constraint because they have lot of work to be done. It's not only motivating and encouraging student or reducing anxiety, but the school counselor and the school psychologist can always be approached for this component. We always have CBSE helpline. You can take a screenshot of this, or you can click this particular page. We have Indian School Psychology Association, which is the head office is at Puducherry, and we have 100 clinics across India in all these states where we have mental health clinics, and we give free counseling for the students. And I'm also the state convener for Madhya Pradesh. And in the similar manner, we have across India. So this is the website where you could get the details about it. And I have added Manas, Telemanas also, and Kiran also. These are multi-language telecounseling helplines, which are 24 by 7 available, and that can be taken if required. Otherwise, I feel that the teachers are the best one, and if required, the school counselor and the school psychologist can be here. And with all your efforts, definitely we will be able to transform a child from exam anxiety to well-being. I hope you agree to it. If you agree, rapidly just put A to it, that yes, you are going to do it.
Yes, most in agreement, all in agreement. Whatever responses, they are all agreeing. Definitely, yes, sure.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That will make my session fruitful and complete. And I would like to conclude with again a prayer kind of thing, which is very close to my heart, which I say that God understood our thirst for knowledge and our need to be led by someone wiser. So, a compliment for a teacher. So, yes, he needed a heart of compassion, of encouragement and patience. Yes, we teachers have a lot of patience. Someone who would accept the challenge regardless of opposition. We knew that we take integrated classes where the child is mentally challenged, deaf or dumb, even blind, but then we are taking integrated classes also. Someone who could see potential and believe in the best in students. So he made teachers. So clap for yourself, pat to yourself that yes, you are a chosen one from God to serve the student, the future citizens, and people of the world around. A small last concluding activity. So this is a rainbow, and I feel that we all are full of colors, and teachers are always very energetic. And this is the commitment which is showing that after your school also you are attending this session. That shows your commitment towards your profession, your passion, your liking towards it. So this is a rainbow which you need to draw either, or you can take a print out of it and write 7 strategies which you are going to use it into this academic year and the coming academic year, so that the things are not focused only on the goal or the result but on the process. And this rainbow, you're going to put it inside your cupboard. So every day in the school, when you're opening your cupboard, you're finding this rainbow, putting a smile into it, and definitely the things will be there. So have a great teaching learning year ahead. And now it's over to Smita if there are any Q&A.
Thank you, ma'am. That was indeed a very useful session. The strategies discussed are certainly going to help our teachers reduce exam anxiety for their students. We'll now go ahead with the Q&A session. We do have a couple of questions that have come up to the panelists. The first question I'll put across: how should we handle students who experience panic attacks during exams?
Wonderful question. Yeah, this is something very common which we observe during the examination. So when it comes down to panic attack, they are more breathless. So instead of keeping them into a room, make sure that they are into an open space that is required, so that the oxygen level is being there. And not to give immediate water to the child, because that may be very choking for a child. And not too many crowd. Oh, what happened? Oh, what happened? That crowd should not be around the child. Let the child feel comfortable. Ask the child to take deep breath towards it, and slowly that rest assured, take rest, feel comfortable. Don't worry about writing of the paper. We are going to give you extra time for that part, because that also creates an anxiousness. Oh, I got a panic attack, now I'll be short of time. So reassure the child that we are going to take care of all these components, and they will be able to handle. Then give a sip of water, and a small sweet or a chocolates are always there with teachers. So that chocolate can be given to the child, which will enhance the glucose level also. Yeah, I hope I have answered it.
Absolutely, ma'am. The next question that has come up is: how does self-esteem impact exam anxiety?
Okay, the moment the child consistently is having low result, or the child himself or herself have kept a very high benchmark, and if they are not able to achieve and they are focusing towards it, that ultimately creates a self doubt in them. The moment the self doubt is there, that reduces their self esteem, and ultimately they become more anxious about it. So the anxiety increases because of that self doubt and the expectations or the benchmark they have made for themselves. So we need to be more careful, interact with the child, try to find it out. If the child is have a higher scorer, so we can always talk to him on those parameters. What are the benchmarks, or on what grounds the benchmarks are being made? So accordingly, the child can take care of it.
The next question is, I think, somewhat linked. Is there a link between perfectionism and exam anxiety? I think self-esteem, perfectionism, probably, yeah. So they would like to
Yeah.
know if there is a link between perfectionism and exam anxiety.
Yes, because as I said, they have their own parameters towards it, and they want to be a perfect. And but whereas they need to be taught that failures are also okay, and they are there at times, because then they are not able to handle if there are any ups and downs because of situations. So we need to this being a very perfectionist is also a flaw in itself. So we need to help the student to understand that no, there are certain times where failures are there, their preparations are there, situations are there. So one should be flexible enough and neutral enough to handle the things. Automatically, the anxiety. So perfection need to be balanced out.
All right.
Yeah.
Great. Another question the teachers would like to know, what should students do if they experience a mental block during a test? They blank out.
Yes, yes. So that's the reason when I was talking about exam preparation also. So you need to help them out to understand, not to think about the result. The problem is they think about the result and not the process part. That no, you have studied it, and automatically you will be able to write the answer also well. So before starting of the examination, few positive inputs need to be given to them so that they knew it well, that how to handle it. Plus, I gave that example technique of keeping a small pencil in hand and writing on the answer sheet, because the moment they read the question paper, they are overwhelmed or they are excited at times also, that wow, I know this answer, I know this answer, I know this answer also. But when they are writing, so they are able to write one or two answers, and later on their minds are blocked or blank. So, and once they are out of it, they again feel that, oh, I was knowing this answer. So, in order to avoid that blockage or blankness, they can write some keywords which can be practiced during the practice sessions also. So they write their keywords, key points, and the same they can write it down in their answer sheet with a pencil, which will be helpful for them to remove that blockage.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. We'll just take one last question.
Okay.
What school policies can help prevent burnout among students?
A very interesting question, and very apt one also. School need to have their own policies which are student friendly. With NEP 2020, of course, we now have more student centric approach which we are following it. But then the introduction which we are introducing, maybe in KG classes or primary classes, about the examination or assessment or grading, and then ultimately giving the results. So that results, fine, if you're doing the assessment part, it's okay. Giving that result again create a block altogether, that oh, this one I've got A grade and this B grade. That comparison starts. If school can create a policy where only you have analyzed it and appreciated the child on those basis, and of course what more efforts the child need to make, that individually can be delivered, is enough. No need of putting those results into black and white and creating such kind of discrimination towards it. If possible, I know, because from ninth onwards or 10th onwards, you all have mark sheets, and those mark sheets have their own value towards it. But then slowly, in the process part, if we could introduce to them, that would be a
Sure.
great change.
Right.
So that we
One
can
last
always.
question, ma'am. How to help students who are slow writers?
Okay. But those who are slow writers, especially slow writers, are into the class from 1 to 3. And rarely you will find in sixth and seventh classes
Right.
when they reach there. One thing, the story of tortoise and rabbit works well when they are into their kindergarten. Because that time, they, for them, winner and loser are not very important. The running part is more important for them. Another thing is, once they are into class 6 and onwards, ask them to have listen to a speech or anything on radio, and then write it down. Because on mobiles and on tape recorders and all those things, you have that pause button, and then they could repeat it. Instead of that, where there is no pause button, they just have to listen and write it down. anything of their interest. It can be a story, it can be a speech, it can be a motivational talk, whatever it is. So once they listen and then they write it, so that is going to increase their speed. And it has worked. I have worked in my clinic also, and it has
Fantastic. I'm
given
sure that
results.
strategy is going to help a lot of teachers here who do face this challenge of helping students who write slowly. Yes. We are running out of time, and but you have covered everything that teachers need to know, teachers would like to know. We've taken up almost all the questions that have come to us in the Q&A box, which brings us to the end. Thank you, Dr. Singh, for such a wonderful session. I think all the participants would have found it informative and useful, along with the question answers. I would also like to thank everyone here today for participating in the webinar. We did love to hear from you. Please do share your feedback with us. The link to the feedback form has been posted in the chat box. The certificate will be sent via email. Thank you so much, teachers. Good day from all of us here at Orient Black Swan. Thank you.
Thank you.